All right, welcome mountain bike fam. Lars Tribus here with Clay Harper, the GM of the Monster Energy Pro Downhill Series presented by Continental Tires.
Sir.
We're here for episode 2 of the 2025 season.
Podcast season.
Yep, and getting ready for round 2 of the 2025 season up at Mountain Creek. So Clay, super stoked to be sitting here again, getting ready for another exciting event. And what's on your mind as we're getting into race number 2?
Oof, man, that's a huge question. I don't know if we have time for that one now. Well, this is our backyard race, right? Like, I don't know if everybody knows that, but Lars and I both live in New Jersey, right down the road from Mountain Creek. This is where we cut our teeth. This is where the US Open was started. This is where, I mean, I've probably produced, I feel like 50 races here over the years, you know? So
Yep.
It's kind of funny. In some respects, it makes it harder, right? Because you get so comfortable with everything. So a lot of just final touches with the team this week. You know, we have a big call tomorrow morning with the team at Mountain Creek, just get everything finalized. Big changes to a few things there, and we'll jump into that in a minute. You know, to the venue layout that we're working with there that I'm excited about. But for the most part, just focused on that, nothing but that. So.
Oh yeah, awesome. So what's the same throughout the season? The official partners of the Pro Downhill Series, obviously some big ones, playing a huge role in keeping the series alive. So for all you folks out there, make sure you take care of the supporters and sponsors.
Yeah, roll right. So we got Monster Energy. Thank you, Monster Energy, obviously, for being a title partner. Continental Tires in as the presenting partner for the whole series. You know, it's kind of fun in year 2 with Continental. We're really starting to like figure out how we activate and work with them. They're an interesting, like a new brand for us last year. We had never worked with them before. Fox Racing, SR Suntour, Yoshimura, Thule. Yoshimura and Thule weren't present like on site at our first event, so we're excited to have Thule on site at Mountain Creek. I think Yosh, I'm not sure, we'll see Yosh on site. They are working on some really exciting stuff.
Cool.
I'll just leave it at that. I don't know how much trouble I would get in if I went further in that one, right? But I think that anybody who clicks on Vital or Pink Bike knows what they're probably working on, right? So we're really stoked for that. That's going to be a huge partnership when that comes through. So
awesome. And then obviously we've got support from ODI as well. And they're the sponsor of the red plate. We'll talk about the permanent members in a second. Yeah.
Another huge thing that happened this year is we've expanded the partnership with ODI to where all Cat 1 have ODI plates, right? So for me, it's like, hey, all our photos look better, right? Like, it's like those plates are so sick and they're always mounted right. And it's just so pro. But what we've learned is a lot of Cat 1s, it's like a memento from every race. You know what I mean? They might not be on the path to be a pro. Like this might be the highest level of racing they achieve, and they're racing the Monster Energy Pro Downhill Series, and they got like a 2025 collection of plates on the wall and stuff. So it's cool. It's a really nice thing that they've done. Vans, just showed you a minute ago, we got our new shipment of vans. So the whole crew is outfitted in vans. Got mine on right now, and we're stoked to keep that one going. That's like an interesting one because Vans isn't big in mountain bike, like especially on the race side, but they really honestly are big supporters.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a quiet thing we do in the background. We got Can-Am. If you've been to a race, you've probably asked if you could get a ride in our Can-Am Commander, which is a badass vehicle. We have at all the races. Honestly, we do work with it. I know people don't believe that, but we do actually do work with the Can-Am.
Yep, absolutely.
So, we also try to jump it sometimes. And then we have a few affiliations too that like we didn't put in our list here before we started, but like Road to Recovery is a huge one, and that's near and dear to your heart. I think in the future we'll probably do like a deep dive into the relationship with them.
Yeah.
But 2025 marks the start of that relationship, which is really great, and it kind of spawned with the beginning with the injury that Cash Shalane had in the off season, and then your long history with them, which like I said, we'll do a deep dive in that later, but basically you've been fundraising for Road to Recovery, which helps 7
years now.
Yeah. Which, we do that event here. I show up and party, you put on an event right here at the compound. You do the fundraiser event for them every year. Basically, the goal with Road to Recovery, for anybody who doesn't know, is it's a foundation set up to help athletes that suffer spinal cord injuries get back back up and moving, whether it's in their new capacity or back to full capacity, everything. It's really interesting to learn more about the powers that they have, like behind the scenes, to help with everything, sourcing equipment, figuring out what, where to go and what rehab to go to and all that stuff. So
it's a really cool foundation, and it's cool that we're now starting to integrate the Pro Downhill series with it, because I think, Cash definitely hit home, right? That's somebody most important. No, he was a big part of the Pro Downhill series crew. He was not just a racer, but also working.
Yeah. And that caught everybody off guard, because it happened in the off season too. But it was not expected at all. It wasn't even a bike crash. Right. And then, so another affiliation that we have this year that we're really excited about is On Track School, which, personally, that was one that was really near to me, because, my son Zach races. Most people know that. And, we just had endless battles with our school. Like, I got charged with truancy. Like, I was going to court to fight a truancy charge and a $3,500 fine. But yet the kid made up all of his schoolwork, but he just couldn't meet the attendance requirements of public school and do all the training, all the traveling, the sport. You got to travel.
Yeah.
And so we put him in On Track, and it turned out to just be like a great experience. And then we started talking with the management there and the people that own and operate that school, and they're deep in motocross. They have a handful of downhillers there now, and they're excited to start to expand their offering to cater more to downhill kids. And we're just getting started with that one. We just pulled that together right before the last event, and more to come on that too.
That's so cool. And when you see the evolution of our sport, we talked a lot last year about the up and coming talent. It's freaking ridiculous, right? And we got to see it at round one at Rock Creek. We'll talk a little bit about that. Just when we combine the Cat 1 kiddos with the pros, with the elite, for that round one.
They love being called kiddos.
I know.
They could smoke us, Lars.
Oh, I know. But, as our sport is evolving and becoming the talent is becoming deep, we're starting to see the commitment level of the young guns similar to moto. These kids are growing up on tiny little downhill bikes, and
it's really seeing it firsthand was what opened my eyes to it. When you and I were kids, we didn't get to take the sport seriously till we graduated high school. You wait till you graduate high school now, and your chances of making it in the sport are down. It's not eliminated, but it's less. You need to be pretty serious by 14, 15 years old now. Yep. Like any sport, like soccer,
it's a different era. When we were racing, you were a bit younger than I was, so you had I think I remember meeting you when you're 16, probably.
Yeah, I think.
And I was already 25, but I didn't start racing downhill until I was 26. And but a life on two wheels,
Well, look, it's not, and I shouldn't say you're off the back. Because
it was a different era, though.
But even Dakota Norton, Aaron Gwin, neither of them were racing juniors.
Right.
They both started in their 20s, and now they're two of the fastest Americans.
Yeah.
So everybody's got a different path, but the competition for those kids is getting crazy.
It's ridiculous.
It's crazy, and we're seeing such moments of greatness out of these kids too. We'll talk about the Holeshot award and stuff like that. It's pretty wild. And I'm just really excited to keep working on that partnership with On Track and kind of open our community of downhill racers up to the possibilities once you leave public school, right? Because I'm not trying to talk against public school or anything, but it really opens up your training possibilities.
Yeah.
You can design your own schedule, you can get to where you need to do, you can be at events and still doing school.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
So maybe topics for more discussions later.
We should hit Road to Recovery and On Track, take a deep dive sometime in the middle of the season, maybe in a long stretch between events, and talk a little more about it, because they're just affiliations, they're not sponsors. We work together with them on a few different things, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Very cool. So something new for this year that you started as a result of last year are the permanent number plates. Mm-hmm. So pretty cool, right? Just like in Supercross, outdoor moto, athletes can earn the right to choose a permanent number.
At the last podcast, we were waiting for people to come back with their choices. Herding cats, try to get a handful of pro athletes to pick a permanent number plate for the first time.
So do you want to kind of review a couple of them?
Yeah, we can talk about some of them.
Break the ice on that one?
Yeah. So the first thing, just for understanding, it's worth saying this so everybody knows how the series works. Last year's overall champions rock the number one all year. Dante and Aletha will rock number one plate all year. but they each got to select their lifetime plate. Dante went with 22 and Aletha went with 11, which completely unrelated. They picked those two numbers, which correlate, which is kind of weird. I didn't realize that till just now. Eris Van Leuven, she picked number 14. We kept it right now to 1 through 150, I think, or 1 through 100 rather, because introducing the pro plates into the system kind of throws off the way everything in mountain biking's worked historically, because it's always kind of gone by the position you were ranked in.
Right.
And now we're trying to give people the opportunity to market around their plates and to be able to have stickers and branding and jerseys and everything in the pro class. So we really had to keep it kind of to a series we could tolerate giving up permanently within the amateur ranks. So we don't use 1 through 100 for an amateur, so it worked. But we had a bunch of these athletes who wanted like 733 and stuff like that. It's like, because it's their motocross numbers, but
right.
It just doesn't work. McKenna Merton took number 3. Jill Kittner, who qualified as a former US Open winner, took 33. So, and then Nina Hoffman way down here, 96, picked the highest number. On the men's side, pretty cool. Like everybody was kind of hesitant, like posturing around taking the low numbers. And then Ryan Pinkerton was just like, I'll take number 2. He's like, what's the lowest number available? And I respect that. That's awesome.
I love that too. Yeah.
Asa took number 3, does it for Dale. He's, rallies around number 3 since he showed up with a jersey that had a 3 on it. Nobody even knew why.
Yeah.
Austin Dooley took 4. Gwin, number 7, which is really cool because he also was granted that number on the World Cup series. So he can rock the same jerseys back and forth and same branding on his tent, on his truck, everything. And then Dak Norton, 56, Cole Suetos, 57. Nico Mulally had a pretty high pick and went with 69 right out the gate. So Nico's in a different point in his career of racing now. More, maybe I'd say more entertainment, although he's been dominating.
It's so cool to see. It's like a young gun that's now like an old dog, right? Yeah, he's just lighting it up, keeping Asa on his toes.
I think maybe hit that secret spot where like sometimes when you don't put stress on yourself, well, he probably puts no stress on himself for race results right now.
Yeah.
And
I was in the pits with Anna, Nico, Asa right after racing was completed at Rock Creek, and there was a lot of smack talking from Asa about how he was gonna beat. From Nico, how he was gonna beat Asa at Sea Otter.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
I mean, it worked out pretty good. I thought he didn't get him, but like first and second.
What did he get though?
Oh, he got a tattoo, didn't he?
Tattoo. Yeah, that was the bet. If he didn't beat him, he had to get a tattoo. Yeah. So he's got like this.
I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Dude, it's all out there. It's on Soco. Like, go feed Nico's Instagram. You'll see it. It's a big Friday Junior tattoo. I got ink. I love it. I thought it was cool. I think that the funniest comment about the whole thing is I said to Nico, we talk a bunch, and I was just like, dude, way to keep the kid honest. Like, that's crazy. It was like within the same second or something.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
And I was like, that was pretty cool, huh? And the only thing he had to say about the whole experience was that he underestimated the size of the tattoo, and it sticks out of all of his shorts. He thought he could hide it.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic. So, but that's a pretty cool thing. It's super cool that the relationship with ODI has expanded to Cat 1s. I mean, I still have from 20 plus years, over the course of 20 years, actually milk crates full of number plates. And I have plans for them. I just haven't really
everybody's got
put them up, but I've got boxes of number plates. So that's definitely going to be like a keeper for folks.
Yeah, it's a good thing. And we're really stoked. And I think that we've, slowly grown the relationship with ODI from back when we were just the US Open, and it's grown every year, and they're very happy to be involved with US racing.
Yeah. Killer. So talking about round 1, Rock Creek, I mean, that was what a way to kick off 2025. I mean, dude, almost 400 racers, literally just couple riders shy of 400 racers.
Well, we had over 400 registered. 396 showed up on the day to race. And you get some injuries or some people can't make it. Maybe they got sick or something. Yeah, right around 400.
And given the fact, like combining the 69 pro riders with another 50 plus, we had almost 130 riders in that
Group A. Group A, yeah. And then 35 women's Group A, which both were just, kind of, we haven't looked back over the data, but probably among the highest outside of US Open that we've ever seen.
Yeah, and that was cool because, I mean, we talked a lot last year about imagine being a top 20 pro and then these the young guns bump up to pro, and you trained all winter, you got way faster, but now you're a top 40 guy, right? Like, because
I think we saw a little of that.
Yeah, we did see a little bit of that, and it's pretty neat. There was a lot of talk in the pits too. Like the young guns kind of were like, there was a lot of people that were stoked because they were looking at how they stacked up against, you know, kids in their normal category, but they're also looking at how they stacked up on race day, same track, same conditions, same moisture in the dirt. You know what I mean?
So
all that stuff.
With that, it's worth mentioning, right? Like, we agreed to make that race a Continental Series race. So we've changed the schedule for Pro Downhill Series, the event schedule. Regardless of that, we're doing that anyway to put Group A, which is Pro and 17, 18, have their finals on Saturday. So they start a day earlier. They get their own track walk. They get their own day of practice without anybody. Qualies on Saturday, Friday, finals on Saturday. It gives a good show. It makes our life just smoother and easier. I mean, like, our whole run of show, like, as we just continue to smooth out operations, it's just so much more low-key and relaxed. Like, our staff gets bathroom breaks now, you know, whereas in the past, everybody going on Sunday, it was like a madhouse.
Yeah. It's also a little nerve-wracking because if one thing goes wrong and throws the schedule off, it puts you in a really tough spot to get done.
And we've made a lot of insulating time for that. And so, but with the Continental, it takes it one step further in that not only do we have Group A go on Saturday, we combined Group A, 17, 18 men plus pro, and same on the women's side, to meet the, how do I say this? Basically, we had to race everybody in one continuous category to get the results we needed for both Pro Downhill Series and Continental, right? Yeah. Which, you know, allowed like juniors to sneak in between pros in qualifying, whereas they would be normally just ranked behind them no matter what time-wise. So I was a little nervous going into that. Like, I didn't know how that was going to work because we hadn't done that. And I really don't like, you know, the UCI coming in and telling us how to run a Pro Downhill Series event because, like, we've discussed it. Like, we just run it differently. You know, like, we have a order of operations and a run of show that works. But it worked really well. And I think we'll end up doing something similar at National Champs. So it was good. Cool. Yeah. All right. And then the whole schedule worked well. Sunday gives the Cat 1 15-16s their day in the limelight, right? They become the big show. And the whole thing was just like a great exercise in trying something completely new and everybody being pretty happy with it.
And from an expectation standpoint, that's what people can expect for...
Yeah, we're sticking with that. Yep. Doing it for Mountain Creek. I guess in the gap between Mountain Creek and Solitude, which is 2 months, we could refine it to some degree. But as of right now, it's working. We're keeping it good. We've talked to a bunch of athletes. I was on the phone with Nico today, like I mentioned, and just went over it with him. And he was, you know, just like, keep it the way it is. It's perfect. Yeah. Don't change anything.
All right, good. Awesome. Good to hear that feedback too, because I know there was some questions at first, but it seems like it went smoothly. And then everybody sort of was like, yeah, this works. This is dope.
Yeah. The biggest question was, when did you change the schedule? And it was like, well, registration opened with the schedule announced. Like, you could never sign up without seeing that schedule.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I don't need to rub that in.
No, that's good. You know, so just that's new schedule with round one. Tremendous turnout at round one. Big dollars paid out for
paid out $17,500 on the day. And we had some good racing, right? Like, we had some crazy racing. Like, on the men's side, you know, we had what was it? Asa beat out Asa beat Lucas Shaw by 0.439 in the final. You know what I mean? So, like, a packed house, like, that was good. Like, that's what you want to do.
Racing.
Like, he's literally coming over the finish jump and you're looking at the clock. You know, we have that new scoreboard that our timers have put together that's sick, and you can really kind of watch the times next to each other, and you're like, you can't tell if he's going to win. You know, if you're 2 seconds up, you're like, he's got it.
Yeah.
But when it's 0.49, you can't, 100 yards from the finish line, you don't know if 0.49 is there or not.
Right. Right.
It was a good race on the men's side, and the women's side wasn't quite as close. We had, you know, Aletha she just laid down a heater and dominated, you know, really kind of put like her stamp on things, you know, because a lot of talk this year about her as she's, you know, moved up. And everybody's just, you know, like, half the crowd's like, we've never heard of her. Half the crowd's like, we've been telling you the whole time. Yeah. She just put a stamp on it. So
it'll be really cool to see the remainder of her season, you know, because I think she's like Asa, another like U.S. generational talent.
And she's riding with like fast crew all the time. Man. You know, she's with the Canyon crew just riding like right on Lucas Shaw's back wheel. Like, good place to get faster.
Yep. Another cool element from round one, speaking of Aletha, she won the SR Suntour Holeshot award. So fastest time of the day, fastest Holeshot of the day.
Yeah, and it's like kind of standard, right? To see the fastest pro get the Holeshot. But on the men's side, this was like,
this is what you want.
Yeah,
this is what you were hoping was gonna happen.
We've been waiting for this, and we had Luke Mallon, right? Luke, not Alex. Sorry, they're twins. Sometimes I mix them up.
Yeah.
Luke Mallon beat Asa by like, was it 500th, 57 thousandths of a second, and that was like pretty unexpected to me. Like with those heavy hitters there, I wouldn't have expected that. So I want to talk to him. Actually, I'm curious. Like, was that his goal? Like, did he focus solely on that? Did he start the day like, I probably can't beat them across the line, but I'm going to beat them in the Holeshot? Like pull the Mike Alessi?
Yeah, I mean, my guess is, they were going for the result.
Yeah,
and it was just going all in right out of the gate.
I mean,
that whole outlaw program is like really impressive, and the mindset, because they like, just talking to them, there's a lot of focus on mindset, right? And on and off the track, right? So I'm willing to bet any amount of money he wasn't thinking about just the SR Suntour.
Yeah, Tyson does a lot of work with those boys, like a lot of mindset, like mental coaching.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, damn, that was crazy. Like that kid beat had to beat Pinkerton, had to beat Luca, had to beat, like the list goes on and on. Tyler Waite, Aaron Gwin, like all these
Richie Rude,
all these guys across that first split. And the first split was like pretty technical.
Yeah.
It had that roller, which was like, it ate a lot of people's lunch. Like even Asa said, like, I did not negotiate that properly in my race run. They would end up not scrubbing and catching air. And it was designed that way. That's what Nico wanted when he put it in the track. Yeah, that was definitely the best part of that results for me.
Yeah, awesome.
So it's good stuff.
Yeah, super good. And just strong performances. And I think we didn't really talk about this before, but just thinking about, like, I'm so pumped how round one went, the first race of 2025, and just seeing, you and I talked about this before, but just seeing like something that it's already come to fruition. You've already got race teams dedicating to the Monster Energy Pro Downhill Series, multiple race teams. Gwin Factory Racing, this is their focus, right, for the season. That's pretty cool. That kind of is, there was a bunch of podcasts following the event, sort of talking about like the renaissance of U.S. downhill, and
that was part of the goal.
So. That was the goal. It's just happening much more quickly than I thought. I was thinking, okay, if 2 years go really well, then we'll start to see like domestically focused elite athlete rostered teams focusing on this series. By year 3, boom, they're already in it on me.
And like, I mean, let's just like talk about the elephant in the room. Like Aaron Gwin committing to racing the whole series. That's sick. Like that's badass. Like pedigree.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, one of the best in the world ever to do it. So
I'm not positive because I'm not like the mega stats guru guy, but I think he's the second or third. I think he's either got the second most World Cup podiums of any athlete in our sport, possibly third. I can't remember if it's, and Menar's obviously up there, and Lowe.
I'm not good.
But like, I mean, and for a U.S. athlete, like that's just, it's home country pride, right? You always kind of gun for like your home pride, like, and then what country you're in.
Of course, but then he's put together this team, and he's got Mikey De La Salle on it. He's got Gavin Tomlinson, like a really good crop of young kids coming up that are going to like get guidance under him. Like racecraft, everybody's going to the gym now. Everybody's taking training laps. Everybody's figuring out how to hit a jump and pedal through this section or that. Racecraft is everything though. And there's a guy who, like, if you just listen to the what's the Needles podcast called?
Moving the Needle.
Yes. Andrew Needling's podcast, which is one of my favorite. He just did a really good one with Gwin. And Gwin talks about his mindset. And you should go listen to it. Like, it's good.
I've gotten part of the way through it. I've just been so busy that I can't keep up with.
I'll break it up too. But the part that stuck out to me was, like, he talks about as a kid when he was racing moto, and like he'd wake up in the morning and he was like, he didn't really want to race, but he still had this like desire to win. And his ability to put it together the way he describes it, even as a little kid, you're like, well, no wonder this dude's a straight killer. You know what I mean? Like he's ice water running through his veins, despite how nervous he is or anything that's bothering him. Ice water.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I hope that these kids are taking that, man.
yeah. That's awesome. All right, so let's move on to round 2.
Yeah.
Right, race number 2, Mountain Creek, New Jersey. We talked a little bit about it being like,
First, let's hold on. We need to open up Monster water.
yeah, like it's our hometown, you know, so definitely gonna be a little extra like stoke, because a lot of our friends are gonna be there, like high-fiving and all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. Schedule is the same as round 1, so we kind of covered that. And last year the track was amazing.
Track really came together. There's a lot of new parts last year.
Yeah, really good. So what's the plans for this year's installment?
Well, much the same. The track is going to be basically, I think, almost entirely the same layout. But just a lot of work to don't forget there was 2, 3 brand new sections. Like 3 brand new, never raced sections before. So like those are going to get widened, cleaned out. There's a lot of things that have, over the course of the winter, like bedded and seeded in. So I think it's going to be faster in some spots. The turns coming into the bridge, I believe George was going to make a few changes on those, like coming into the bridge before the whoops. But for the most part, it's going to be roughly the same layout. Like we had a good race on it. So
should we talk to George?
We could call him up.
Yeah. Why don't we give him a call? See what he's got to say. I mean,
so this is, you and I aren't tech guys, but let's see. I think that we can do this straight from the phone here.
So George Ryan, for those of you that don't know him, I think most people that have been around the sport for a long time know George. He was on Cannondale's George team. He was on Iron Horse's factory race team back in the day, prior to the Sam Hill era.
Favorite George Ryan stat: only man to race every single U.S. Open.
Ever.
Yep. Jason Memoir was neck and neck with him, but I think Jason Memoir skipped a year ago. He into like a yoga retreat or something instead. All right, let's see.
Even still, I mean, U.S. Open has been in play since 2003. So that's a pretty impressive.
George doesn't want you to let people know how old he is. So let's see. Hold on. Let's get this started.
This call will be recorded.
Call will be recorded. George, do we have you, buddy?
Hey, I'm here. What's up?
Well, can you hear him, Lars?
I can.
Yep. I'm here with Lars' dog. We're sitting at the table, just talking. That's what we do. I mean, it's what I'm known for.
Yeah, so George, word on the street is you've been real busy. I mean, I know you've been busy because I'm keeping up with your socials and Mountain Creek Bike Park socials, but word on the streets, you've been busy building and prepping the 2025 Pro Downhill Series course. And we were kind of curious, what could the riders expect? Like, what's going to be the same? What's going to be different? What have you refreshed?
Yeah, so I've been super busy. We just had opening weekend last weekend, and we're right into the track build for the Pro Downhill Series. So overall, the track is going to follow the same route as last year, which I think everyone enjoyed.
We were just talking about that, how last year you created a whole bunch of new sections, and now they're going to really be bedded in and seated. And, some of the art of it might be really fine-tuning stuff this year.
Yeah, so what we're doing is just going through the whole thing. Like you said, fine-tuning it, filling in any bad holes that formed last year and creating some new lines here and there by, just making the track a little wider in spots and giving some options here and there, and just overall just like a cleanup and just making the whole thing sweet.
Killer. So question for you, as a trail builder and a rider, you typically, there will always be one section of the track that you're just like, this is my favorite. What's that section?
And one section that always makes you go, oh.
Well, yeah, I think my favorite section is probably that new spot that we had last year, where it was like a really steep chute with a drop in it that a lot of people were gapping out to this very tiny landing out in the ski slope. I like that. It's just exciting. It's still relatively fresh. And I think that's a big part on the track where people can make up some time too.
Awesome.
Well, you gotta that's like the style of, I guess, like line choice we like, right? Where it's like risk reward. Like if you bite off a little more there and you can do it successfully, like it pays,
Yeah.
Question for you, George. You and I kind of set the polls together, me, you, and Rosie, for like, figuring out like the tricky parts. I'd say the biggest trickery we had last year was the pole at the bottom of that chute. We moving it? We keeping it the same? What are we doing?
Yeah, that's still up in the air. Yeah, that definitely caused some issues. People would land that drop and they'd get bounced down to the low line where the pole was. And
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How many Orange Pro Downhill Series poles do you think we went through in that spot last year?
We probably went through like 20 to 30 just in that spot.
Just exploded.
I know my crew, they did not get a break. The guys that were sitting there fixing that all day, all weekend, actually.
Wow. So if you're a spectator showing up, where do you think the money spot is going to be this year from a spectator?
Good question.
Yeah, there's so many good spots. That spot we were just talking about I think that was the spot last year. Lots of people there. The Asylum Rock Garden, a little further up on
Forever and always, yeah.
Yeah, has always been a classic at the races at Mountain Creek. And then, yeah, the bottom, just down at the finish line will be good because you can see like way up the hill, a lot of turns and jumps and just exciting because you can see the clock too and see how close they are to beating the split times, and just be an exciting spot to watch and see the finish of the race.
Yeah, you and I talked a little bit in our meeting earlier this week about two things in that area. One, if we're going to keep the grass turn as like unimproved grass, which we'll keep that secret, we don't know. And then the other is like maybe just a jump that points straight down the hill there, as opposed to like the hip that we've done, a few times now off the side of the ski slope there. So it'll be a surprise for everyone. We don't need to tell them, but I guess like a little window into your evil mind.
Yeah, like I said, we want to switch things up every once in a while. Like we try to keep things fresh. So we're still trying to figure out exactly what we're going to do there, but we have some good ideas, which I think is going to make for some exciting action down near the finish line, which could make or break someone's run, but hopefully everyone enjoys it and gets through it.
Super cool. So another question for you, George. We were just talking a little earlier about the bets between Asa and Nico, Sea Otter, and just the smack talk. You're the trail boss at Mountain Creek Bike Park, and there are some very fast local pros and young guns. What's the smack talk going on between you and some of those guys? Do you have any bets? Like the only guy who's raced every single U.S. Open in the history of the U.S. Open, and now you're at, home turf. Are you talking any smack? You taking down any of these young guns?
Oh, we should just like let everybody know. George not only is the track builder, he always races too. So like,
absolutely.
Reason. And George, with that, if you don't have one already, you're going to have to make some sort of bet right here on the pod.
Oh, geez. Well, I haven't started talking trash yet, but I can start right now, and I'm gonna be trying to beat all these kids that are half my age and aren't building a track all week leading into it.
I think that you should call out Zach Harper. I feel like a bet with you and Zach Harper, and we can do like a handicap system off qualifying, even if you want, like golf, like get it real even. I feel like that would be good.
I don't want to make it too easy for me.
Come on, you can embarrass the kid a little.
I don't know. You got any suggestions?
I think that was some good smack talk right there. You're basically saying that he's not even a factor. You don't want to bet Zach because it's going to be too easy for you. So I like it.
Yeah, I helped teach him how to ride those trails. So he's going to have a tough time keeping up with me.
Love it.
What are the, like, I don't know, man. I think that you should hit him with a, like, maybe I don't know if you're making it out to our West Coast rounds or not. We haven't discussed that, but I'd say I'd bet him an In-N-Out dinner.
Yeah, I'm trying to get out to the California race, so yeah, that'd be good. If, whoever wins or whoever loses owes the winner number one double animal style.
Perfect.
On it.
Done. Zach Harper, you just been called out.
All right. Hey, George, thanks, man. It's good to hear your voice, and super stoked to seeing your artistic handiwork at making the 2025 course. Anything you want to throw out there before we say see you in a couple?
Yeah, I'm just excited to have the whole Pro Downhill Series crew and the whole race circuit back at Mountain Creek Bike Park for the second year. I think it's going to be a good one. Weather's looking good, track's looking good, and yeah, I think it's going to be a great time. I'm excited.
Awesome. Love to hear it.
Sweet. Thank you, George.
Yeah, it was great talking to you guys.
Yeah, likewise.
I will see you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
See you, man.
All right. See you, George.
Bye, guys.
All right. Killer. Yeah. So.
I didn't expect the bet, but it's good by me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what? I was pretty successful at instigating the free ride bet that happened at the US Open a few years back with all the free ride crews and the maple syrup, and hopefully I'll have the same impact on George and some of the trail building crew, or even some of the top pros are going to come and try to lay down a fast one on the
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk for a minute about that, like what we got coming in for this? You know,
yeah, absolutely.
We've you know, kind of noticed like this is a tough spot in the schedule for a lot of guys who are managing two series, right? So if you're racing the, you know, World Cup series with the opening round in Europe the week afterwards, and you're racing Pro Downhill Series, you know, the ability to race both is a little tough. But so, you know, that being said, we still have a pretty good, let me pull this up here. We'll talk about it. We still have a pretty good group of pros that are coming in for this, and I'm pretty excited about a couple of them. You know, like we said earlier, for some reason, forever will be excited to see Gwin's name on a start list, right? Like American Racing, Gwin.
Well, he's made an open statement that he's focusing on this series. He's built a team to focus on the series, and he, you know, top 5 at round 1, and a number of the guys that were at round 1, to your point, will be in Poland.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm anticipating that you can never really bet against Aaron. He's just like so consistent,
and he's got big wins at Mountain Creek. Mountain Creek's a place he's won at. You know, he's got multiple US Open wins at Mountain Creek. So you know, and you have his 2017 US Open Slayer. You took it away from him. Nico signed up to race, coming off 2 big wins recently. That's
going to be really cool. So, I mean, Nico is on top form. We probably like riding, I would say, the best we've seen him riding in
recent years.
Yeah.
He's injury free. You know, he's had a couple big injuries the past couple years.
And
really
Aaron too, and they're both on form, right? Yeah. Like, so they're both back. They're both on form.
And they're both kind of like too, like just like pillars here, right? Like they both
American downhill icons, man. Yeah,
events they're running and everything, and so like it is cool to see them square off. I mean, imagine if they were 1-2 qualifiers, just like the 2017 US Open. That'd be crazy.
Sick.
And then an interesting one, Boss Van Steenberg, right? Like that name popped in there. I haven't seen him at a US race with us since 2018, I think. In Killington was the last time we saw him. Mark Wallace back. He's back racing with us again, which is sick.
Super
fast guy.
Yeah.
You know, and then obviously, you know, we got Dante Silva and you know, the regular crew of US pros and Chris Grice, I know, is making a special trip to this one. Him and Nico, I think, are both leaving straight to Poland from the race. But another one in here that I'm excited about, who's kind of in a little bit of a path back from an injury a little while back, is Nate Kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm kind of expecting some good things out of Nate Kitchen at this race. Cole Suetos, I think Cole's on the podium here last year, if I recall, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he was 3rd last year, if I remember. So good crop. It'll be a good race to the end.
Yeah.
And then on the women's side, Kaylee Skelton, you know, big anchor athlete coming in, and
she's another one focused on this series, prioritizing this series over, you know, hitting all the Europe rounds and other rounds, kind of prioritizing the series. It's good to see that.
Yeah, and we know Aletha was not going to be racing, but her sister Taylor's racing. Taylor just recently off a podium at
Sea Otter.
Okay, right?
She's been throwing down this season. She's
Yeah.
been having a really good season. So I think she'll be a player. Leaneagh, she's top 5 at Rock Creek, and you know, she's a top 5 national champs.
Emmy Land, you know, accomplished World Cup enduro athlete, now also Canadian downhill champion. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but you know, she was at Rock Creek. I didn't really get to see her ride a lot. I don't know how she's feeling on form and, you know, with downhill and transitioning over from enduro and everything, but somebody who I'm excited to see what she can do in this race.
And then Jordy Scott too, another, I think she's on Hyper with Boss, and she's like the first ever speed and style winner, like ever, for women. Like, so that'll be cool to see. You know, I think she got a couple of big results in slalom too. I think she was 4th at Sea Otter against Carolyn Buchanan.
I don't remember all the results.
Yeah, but I mean, just another cool name to see in the lineup, you know?
Yeah, and if maybe if she doesn't have the best run, we'll get a big trick on the finish jump.
How about that? Yep.
Dude, we get award points for that.
Yeah, super cool. So a strong lineup of riders already registered. There's still plenty of time to register. It closes when? Sunday?
Sunday before the race. Yeah, it's just like normal. Again, that's every event, same way. And that's AM and pro. Obviously, the last race, if you remember, we extended it. That's because we're coming right off Tennessee National. Yeah. So we did extend it. If you know, you're having trouble getting registered, you can always hit us up. Just reach out to us, and obviously our team will take care of you and help you. But the goal with ending registration that early, and people always say, why do you do that? Why do you do that? It's also, if you notice, when you show up to our race as an amateur, like, it's pretty seamless to check in and get your plate. And that's because our team has 2 days to get everything ready. And it's just like done. You know, and then from just a business standpoint, man, we're processing 300 amateurs, 300 to 400 amateur athletes. Like, we can't wait till the last minute to do that or plan around it for what we need, from staff to number plates to everything. So we appreciate people who sign up early. Yeah.
And so just because I don't know exactly when this podcast is going to drop, but Sunday, May 3rd specifically is
the Sunday at the beginning of the race week. Yep. And it's always that way for
May 3rd, right? Yep. So make sure you're not that person on May 4th saying,
no, I think, well, let's just look, because I think it is May 4th.
Is it?
Sunday is May 4th, yeah.
Oh,
I know this because our crew comes into work on May 5th. A lot of our crew arrives Monday, May 5th, and I've been informed that I will need to do some sort of a Cinco de Mayo celebration for our work crew. So,
all right.
That's why I got the days.
Good stuff.
I know the calendar by what I'm eating.
How about that? Well, I mean, Cinco de Mayo, it's my favorite food, period, is Mexican. So like, you just gotta.
And it'll be good at Mountain Creek, the beer garden right there. We're going to work out a bunch of activations with them. I think that we're doing a party that'll be announced. I don't have full details on it, so I don't want to say anything yet, but we do have a special guest coming in that'll probably be around there. And they always have tacos. So always tacos on the menu there.
Perfect. Awesome. So we covered a lot already. So I think a few more things. We kind of covered just with George unexpectedly, like the fans and spectating, where to go. Volunteers, right? We always need course marshals.
Never ending ask, right?
Yeah.
Always need course marshal.
What a cool way to see a race right from the side of the course. And you get what? You get all kinds of
we have 5 Dev has come on as a volunteer specific kind of accomplice, not necessarily a big series partner, but they've come in and they've offered like, we give away a 5 Dev build pack. I can't remember what parts are in it, so I don't want to misspeak right now, but it's super valuable. We give one of those away for each event, and then also you get a huge discount with them, as well as Thule, a discount code for them, a discount code for Fox. That's like been a favorite. Like, Fox started that trend. They give these 40 or 50% off codes to everybody, and like, you could literally outfit your whole your whole family. You know, it's like you can spend a couple $1,000 in one shot on their website with a huge discount code. And then obviously you get lunches, and what seems to be really cool for people is just being part of it and being able to be inside the tape or around the track and communicating with athletes. People's like to be out there for the pro athlete. practice sessions is really cool, especially early in the week when they're like just assessing the track, right? Like that Thursday practice, which is new for us. That's cool. It's a big 3-hour Group A only. And like, if you're a course marshal for that one, like you're kind of chilling, like it's like behind the scenes there.
Yeah.
Like that's a cool one. I like being on the track during that.
Yeah. So all you folks at home, sign up for course marshaling, and Christmas is right around the corner, like 8 months away. So, you know, just be prepared to spend tons of money with all the partners and get the discounts. You can, like, you gotta think ahead. You know what I mean? So,
and you get a free lift ticket to come back another day and ride Mountain Creek Bike Fest.
Even
That's
cool.
huge when Mountain Creek kicks that in. That's huge.
Yeah, I saw at Rock Creek an entire family of volunteers. I don't know if you like caught that, but it was like literally mom, dad, like 3 kids, the whole family did it. And that was one of the big things. They're like, sick, we get 5 lift tickets or 6, however many it was.
We've seen a bunch of parents who will do like multiple shifts and like stock up the tickets then to come back with their kids. And even if they don't ride. So we try to put as much value behind it as we can.
Yep.
You know, and it is still just a you know, it's a goodwill volunteer position. Everybody comes in and just really kind of makes everything happen. And I say it all the time. Say it to the athletes in our pre-race speech, like, you guys wouldn't have a race without the course marshals. So always respect them and always thank them. So, and I feel like we have a good culture with it.
Yeah, definitely.
What else we have on here?
Really, I mean, there's not much, just maybe reviewing the rest of the season schedule, I think.
Shout out Mike Garceau for like the most organized itinerary we've ever had. Like, you and I are usually like cocktail napkins and like something on a cell phone.
I mean, I still kind of got
a bunch of shit I just try to remember. Yeah. Although that is a good one. That's a good one right there.
Yeah.
I got in the Supercross booth. You and I went to Supercross, and I got to sneak into the NBC broadcast booth with my buddy Clinton Fowler from We Went Fast. And I got to see Ricky and Lee Diffie setting up, and like, dude, same as what we do before this. It's really crazy at the level they're at. They got their piece of paper and they're just like jotting notes, and you look at it as a third party and you're like, that's gibberish. Nobody could do it. And then you listen to their broadcast, it's seamless. It's perfect. So obviously
goals.
Yeah.
Right.
So hit me with where you at on this list. What did we want to wrap out with?
Yeah, basically just maybe just quickly review 2025's the rest of the schedule, the rest of the year.
Yeah, and we'll do another podcast after Mountain Creek. Obviously, we have a 2-month downtime between them. We'll be busy cleaning the new semi-trailer out because that thing has like a foot of dirt in it from Rock Creek. Ugh. And then we have, after Mountain Creek, Solitude and Big Bear back-to-back. That is going to be wild. We've never had back-to-back races. They're about, I think, like 9 or 10 hours apart, which is tolerable. Our crew is going to be just pinned with that. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to send people to the second venue while we're still running the race at the first venue.
So that's end of July and into August. So July 24th to 27th.
Yep, July Solitude. And that's just a standard Pro Downhill Series race. Brand new venue. Man, the people at Solitude are so stoked. I don't know if I've ever started a relationship with a venue that was this excited. And like, I'm kind of stoked on the track. I think nobody knows what to expect.
Very cool.
But what we're working on is some machine built stuff right out the gate. We have this big open stretch right out the gate that we need to put kind of like a motorway in.
Okay,
it's gonna be full view.
One of my favorite courses in my entire life was Hafjell, Norway. Raced there 2014, and that was just like that. You drop into the starting gate, and it was basically like a 200-yard long supercross section of 30 plus, 40 plus foot, basically a rhythm section. Speaking of Nico, that's when he broke his chain at World Champs and got 4th.
Oh, okay.
Somehow, magically, you know, I rode the course. I don't know how he did that because it was definitely pedal sections.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, I know Gwin has done that before, you know, like how do you do that without a chain? But anyway, that would be super cool. It's cool for an athlete too because you get your flow on. You know what I mean? Like when you get that time in the air to throw a little style and just get
and flip side of it too. Like if you're an athlete that's like, man, I hate technical jumps at the end of a track. It's like, this is the reverse. You're fresh, you're ready to go. Yeah. Also an opportunity to completely screw your run up if you get wrong. But I think that you know, Tyler Seitz over there is just like gung ho to build this for us, and it's gonna just visually be really cool. You know, the canyon there, Cottonwood Canyon, and like the way the top of the track lays out. It's a new bike park, so most people aren't familiar with it at all. There's just this long stretch through like a rolling meadow into the woods. So it'll be cool. And then straight from there to Big Bear. And this is why we put this on here. We just wanted to quick touch on this because we're already getting a lot of questions on this. We've added more information to the website on the competition page. Big Bear, our event in Big Bear, partnership with the Visitors Bureau at Big Bear. They're such an incredible agency to work with. And like, we've been in meetings with them. We're working on a lot of fun stuff. There's going to be like music and parties and stuff in town. Tour to Big Bear is that same weekend, which is like a giant, I think it's just road. I don't know if they have a gravel with it too, but it's like a giant road tour that's like open to anybody like to go and do. So like, there's the potential element of like parents coming up, kids want to race, or like one parent wants to go and do that. Like there's opportunity to do some other stuff. We're going to have a bunch of stuff downtown. But the biggest thing that we wanted to talk about real quick here is that it's open to everybody. It's national champs, but it's open to everybody. So the race is a pro downhill series, round 4, and it is also national champs.
The national champ.
The national champ. Yep. We work with USA Cycling now. We are the national series, and we have inside the national series, national champs and US Open. So like all the USA Cycling events are within the series. It'll be similar to Rock Creek, like the Continental round. It'll be a 1-run race. It's not 2 separate races on the weekend, and it'll award Pro Downhill Series points for the overall and prize money. And that's open to everybody. And then there will be an eligibility guideline for who can race to get the sleeve.
Yep.
You know, and like some cliff notes on that. It's for Cat 1 and Pro racers. And it's for US racers. So let's just say, you know, if we have a fast Canadian or a European in there racing that race, they can get the Pro Downhill Series points, they can stand on top of the podium, and they can take the prize money, but they can't win the sleeve. That's encompassed for US racers only. And then within that, there's like crazy eligibility guideline rules and everything, because we have some tweaks with that where like Asa, Aletha, these kids who are, you know, 18 and under who are racing in the pro class. It's very complex. USA Cycling will have that document out. It'll be on our website. We anticipate it sometime in May. But just everybody needs to know that like everyone's welcome, regardless of eligibility guidelines or anything. Everybody can come race that race.
You know what I would love to see? Because Big Bear was always like an iconic venue, you know? Oh,
Still is, yeah. I mean, for sure. I don't think the kids know. We should like put together a slideshow and like
how iconic it really is as a venue. And
if you want to know who Sean Palmer and Kurt Voorhees are,
I was just gonna say, how cool would it be to see Palmer, Voorhees, Lawwell, Harder,
Volvo raced it.
I know, but I want to see all those guys getting after it. You know what I mean? Like all the old.
Let's go. We're calling right now. Let's go on
right now. Like all you guys, all you Southern California or West Coast, because I know Kurt's like up in Bend now.
That's where he is.
All you West Coast guys, like
let's go.
The legends, right?
Legends. Yeah.
The dudes who cut like the path for what's going on today. We need you out here, right? It's the renaissance of U.S. downhill. Get your ass out to Big Bear, if not all of them.
Could you imagine the bets we could get between like a Lawwell, Lopes, and those guys?
Beautiful.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah, it would be so cool.
Might have to actually have like register that for like legal stuff.
I mean, there's a lot like Chris O'Driscoll and, you know, Siegfried, and like there's so many dudes that it would be really cool just to see like just those old legends.
I think Lawwell ran pretty good last year. Like,
I feel like pretty sure he won.
He was on it.
Yeah, he's still crushing it.
Like I've been on a few rides out there in Laguna with Lawwell and Lopes, and it's just like they're like 10 years older than me and embarrass me. Like it's crazy. They're both still so fast and so fit. So
yeah, it'd be really cool to see, you know, to see that happen. So
and also just the proximity to all the brand partners and everything. So that event's going to be huge. Like we're already getting a lot of outreach too for brands that want to be part of that aren't normally part of the activation, whether it's the pits or as partners. Yeah. So I think there'll be a ton of animation that weekend.
Yeah.
I think that probably want to get your lodging early for that.
Yeah. You got me covered on that one, right?
Yeah, I got you. Hold on, let me actually call Jamie and see if we have that.
See where we're at with that.
We run an internal travel agency that my wife Jamie runs.
Oh yeah.
And I say it again, opportunity to kiss a little butt right now. Don't thank me for Pro Downhill Series. Thank my wife, because she's the one that lets me do this.
And we've talked a lot about like your family behind the family effort, like the whole family?
Oh, Big George will be in Start House at Mountain Creek.
Oh, very cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mountain Creek and US Open. He's always in the Start House. So that's my dad's house.
Yeah. And, the family and the friends, like we've definitely got a really cool crew.
Yeah, the crew for this race is fun. I mean, this is where crew comes from, right? Like you see, do you have a crew shirt on?
I do. I think.
Mine doesn't. Yeah. Show the camera the back of the shirt. Yeah, if you can.
Yeah, I know. It's a little tough to stand up.
We got the crew shirt. So crew comes from Mountain Creek. And we should have actually talked about this with George when we had him on the phone. It was like a Jersey Mafia thing. So like, I've been a part of Mountain Creek since the 90s, and George was, George and Mark Tremaine and like these guys, and where they were like the first people that worked under me when I was a little older than them, and then they took the ball and ran with it. And crew started, CRUE started at Mountain Creek. And when we took US Open out of Mountain Creek, like I had to, like the family said to come be like, I had to have a talk with George and be like, will we be friends? Like, do I have permission to use crew as we move to other venues and go everywhere? And it was like, blessed it and get into it. But
it was beautiful.
Yeah. So, cause people always ask like, why crew? And it was like, dude, Mountain Creek early days was wild.
Yeah.
Like we wrecked shit. We had parties, like it was wild. And like
burned lodges down.
We didn't do that. Don't record that. But like tons of heritage and like stories come out of that. And like when I hear Pennywise Broham, like everybody's got a memory. For me, it's like early days Mountain Creek. Like that was it. And so it's pretty cool when we go back there. And I don't know if we can ever fully convey that to everybody, but it is pretty special.
I think you'll see the energy and just like oozing out of our pores at that one,
Yeah.
So I think that's it, Clay. I mean, any last minute parting thoughts? Anyone else you want to thank?
Don't put me on the spot. Everyone. I'd like to thank everyone who's ever liked anything on Pro Downhill Series, been to Pro Downhill Series, raced Pro Downhill Series, been a sponsor of Pro Downhill Series. Of course, obviously everybody, like you said in the beginning, the success of this series is exceeded all of our expectations.
Yeah. And we want to keep it growing. I mean, I ran a BMX track for a decade, right? And now the whole like, oh, we got to pay $30 a month to watch BMX nationals. It's like people are now bent about that. Yeah. Same thing happening in mountain bike, overseas. So
actually, that's where we should.
The YouTube, like
subscribe. That's the number one thing you should.
Show. Yep. And huge props and shout outs to Gravity Co-op after coming off of round one. I can't even tell you how many texts that I got. I got a few from like industry people I shared with you just about like the coverage is insane. Like how many cameras are on course. It's cool.
Yeah. And so everybody's
spread the word, like it's been awesome seeing how many people actually watch the race coverage. But just keep spreading the word because
and everybody's pulling for it too. Like we mentioned Mike a minute ago, like Mike has really come in to help align our different content strategies, right? Like it's a strategy, it's a business, it's what we got to do. And it's like, you got, our YouTube, our social, and then like the things we have to do for our event partners and stuff. So like, Mangler and the whole team with Gravity Cooperative are like just killing it with the like upping the level of production and like the ability to execute quickly too. Yeah. We're really working towards like getting closer and closer and closer to the end of the race where we can have that show out. That's my number one priority for it, as well as also this year, we have our big content meetings and, Mike's there and Gravity Co-op. And it's like, we're trying to say like, okay, what can we do to make this better? And like the number one initiative was 1 and 2 initiatives are get it out as fast as we can, explain more to people. So like you start to notice that like you can maybe watch it with a kid who doesn't know downhill or anything. We're going to start to kind of just try to like really make it more digestible because our sport is so endemic, right? Like it's just so deeply endemic. And our goal is to like put this thing on YouTube. Like our kids grew up on YouTube. They watch everything. They watch motocross. They watch this. We want them to turn on Pro Downhill Series and be like, that's sick. We get it.
Yeah.
So that's the goal.
Awesome. So Clay, much love, much respect. Thanks for all that you're doing.
Thank you.
Folks, we'll see you at Mountain Creek and keep staying with us.
Do it.